When shifting courses from in-person to online learning, you can accidentally isolate one or many of your students. So let's talk about how we can recognize that and provide some critical guidance on engagement. But let's begin with a question. It's a little bit poignant. Think back to a time when you felt left out. Are you remembering something from childhood, or is it more recent? I apologize if I've evoked maybe a painful memory. We've all had those. But here's my next question. What if that's the same feeling that one of your students has when attempting to navigate your online course? Being left out hurts. Some students will adapt quickly, but others will fear making a simple post on the discussion board. And a number of them will not email you for help because they don't want to appear ignorant or lost. Online teaching is about leadership. Why good leaders make you feel safe? Google that up and watch it. It's a parallel to teaching. Our classroom leadership is very parallel to that. How we create environments so our students can engage and feel safe and learn. All right, online teaching. How do we include everybody? Well, let's jump in. So I'm today at the University of Dayton. I wanted to be on a campus. I wanted to film outside and get some of that energy back. The students aren't here, which is sad, but this is temporary, and we're going to be back. I'd love to be up at Ohio State's campus right now. But you know, we're going to do this. We're going to get through it and figure it out together. In the interim, and even after this is passed, we're going to be doing more online teaching. So let's just think about that in that context as well. A good positive spin there. All right, let's jump in and start with your LMS, your learning management system, or your course management software. Everybody's a little bit different. How familiar are you with it? Your students probably know, but are you? Every time I go to do another class, I have to kind of pause and talk to my IT people and get the hang of it again, and that's okay. But we're not going to talk a lot about that today. I want to talk about engagement. So I'll send you off to your IT folks for that. I'm going to talk engagement. So let's go. Well, one quick thing on the learning management software or system. Do start your front page when you get it set up with click here to begin, because each professor will have a little different look. We can certainly do that at Ohio State, and I'm sure you can too. But put all your lectures in the same place, like under modules or under weekly or whatever that heading is, and let your students know that. Put all the readings in the same place or the downloadable material. Make sure they know how to submit assignments. This is, your tech folks can really be helpful with this. Okay, now, how about the real engagement part? How about the important stuff of making sure we set the stage and create the environment for our students to learn? Setting expectations, expand your syllabus. How many of you have a one-page syllabus? My online syllabus is 8 pages for, well, it's probably 7 for one class and 8 for the other. Put details in there, add flexibility, particularly in this shift, this kind of forced shift that we're experiencing right now. Add rubrics so that they understand what you're grading for and how. Explicitly state how they'll turn in the assignments. Are you going to use the CMS software that they can submit them online and do an online grade, or do you want them to email them to you? Whichever is fine, but just be sure that they understand how you want that done. Be really clear and articulate that. This is basic stuff, but sometimes when we forget, especially if we get in a hurry and we're trying to set all this up kind of last minute. Connecting. Do all your students have reliable and fast internet service? I have learned this clearly for 5 years now of teaching online. Some of my students in rural areas particularly don't have a fast enough internet. And so I started taking my recorded lectures and translating them over to YouTube, which flattens them out, makes them a much smaller file size, and it's not quite as pretty, but they flow and they don't buffer, and students can actually watch them. So it's critical that you give options, particularly if your class is synchronous. and some students don't have a fast enough internet to have their camera going on. Allow them to turn that off and only turn it on when they're speaking. Allow for a telephone option to call in so that they can still get the content and participate in that lecture and software. Maybe they can just have the video of you giving the presentation. And again, if you record it, do file compression or something so that the students will be able to watch it later. If you're posting PowerPoint slides, which is a great thing to do, add the notes. Don't leave those out. Or maybe write a few notes. I don't ever have any on mine, but you can write some, and that can be real helpful to your students as well. Understanding students' needs. Here's Maslow. We all know this pyramid, the hierarchy of needs, but it changes a little bit once your physiological needs are met. And think about it in the context with shifting to online learning, particularly if you or your students haven't done that lately. So the safety piece is larger, even though it's not the foundation. The social piece becomes larger. Think about how the socialization can work in a class. Set up some systems so that your students can have a little bit of that time to get to know each other, if you will. Communication. Explain your expectations on communication and interaction. So this is from Quality Matters. Great tips here on switching to remote instruction. Hold virtual office hours. Set those dates and the same time so the students can know that they can log in and ask questions. Tell them how to connect, how you want to correspond. Give ideas of how often they should log into class, so that they kind of know there's going to be a new topic each week or whatever that may be, and again, have that in the syllabus. I have timings in our course management system, so I set the assignments up at the beginning of the semester, and then they launch like every Monday at 12:01 a.m. or something like that. Remind your students about communicating online with peers, professional communication etiquette, using proper grammar and not shortcuts and things that kind of get irritating. Anyway, here's a challenge. Challenge yourself and your students. Have them record a video post or a discussion board chat instead of just typing. It mixes it up and it makes it much more interactive. Ask them for ideas for interaction or delivery or content, dissemination of information that they've seen in other classes. Learn from your peer professors through your students. That can be a rich discussion. It can be pretty cool. Communication. Do what you would in a real in-person class, because this is a real online class. It's just a different delivery mechanism. Explain the learning materials in the courses. In class, you introduce and you contextualize materials. Do the same online. Add some of those photos that I've talked about from your experiences so that you bring the materials to life. Find those intersections of theory and practice and show examples of those. Have some fun. So this is from a coaching and mentoring workshop. So I have, we watched a clip from the Big Bang Theory, and it's all about behavior and motivation, couldn't think of the word. And so then we'll watch the clip and I'll ask, what happened? And have that discussion. It can be really rich. You get the people involved, you get a laugh out of it, and it's fun. You can do that online. More communication, give timely feedback. This one's kind of important, and we might miss it sometimes because we're busy as instructors and professors, but students need to know so they can track their learning progress and so they don't feel disoriented without that regular interaction. So that robust and timely feedback can really help them a lot. Try some lower stakes formative assessments. So you can do some online quizzes, you can do minute papers, you can do quick chat box things if you're using a synchronous a Zoom software or platform or something like that. It also gives you some insights in how your students are learning. Is the information coming across? Are they getting it? And that can be really important and help you with your teaching. Facilitate that active learning and engagement. Create interactions for the students with the content and with you and with each other. And you keep that going by bringing discussion and collaboration online, the collaborative piece. In a couple of my grad classes, actually I've been teaching online, in person and online, but my online classes, for 5 years, I'd never done this. I divided my students, about 22 students last semester, into 2 different groups so they could have a deeper, richer discussion. So it was like other students didn't even know they were in the same class, except occasionally if we all did something together. But it let them go deeper and get to know each other and hopefully have a richer experience. They told me that they liked the smaller group than the crazy discussion boards that end up with 1,000 posts. Don't forget a tip from my top 10 video. Remember, find those intersections where theory meets practice. Bring your stories and your experiences there. Bring your pictures and use those in the slides so that you connect students and get those brains activated with the online environment. And one last one, don't forget diversity. Please be intentional. Think about photos in your PowerPoint slides that will represent all of our students. Use language that's inclusive. So just please keep that in the front of your mind as you're putting this together. It's important stuff. And lastly, be transparent. We're all crossing this scary bridge together. So talk to your students, learn together, let them know. They've got great ideas. I learned from every class, whether it's undergrad or graduate, in person or online. It's rich, and there's a great potential as we're doing this shift. And finally, be missional. Self-motivation can be tough sometimes. And if you get frustrated, which we all do and we all will as we're building more classes online, return to that mission. Think about your why. Your personal mission. Why did you start teaching? Jot it down. Reflect on it. That's really powerful. They can energize you to get you back to engaging with your students in a real and meaningful way. Now, if this were an online class, I'd end the video, assign some quick feedback, jot down 2 or 3 key points that resonated with you. Describe how you might use or implement one of these in the context of your future work now or in the future, that sort of thing. Again, a great way to help cement that learning. The reflection we know does that. So good stuff. Key takeaways: help your students feel safe. Help them connect, even when it's distant or online for this short period of time. And don't let them fall away or fail. Critical stuff. Homework: go outside, breathe. Imagine your students returning to the campus and watch other online instruction videos so you can improve your methods. It's really important. It can make a difference for your students. Check out your school's IT resources. Look for movie clips, TED Talks, assign those, bring them into discussion. It's good stuff. So thanks. Hang in there. We're going to do this.